All right. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back. While we were on the break, I looked at one of the suggested Bibles that's supposed to have the right thing in it. It's called the Yahuwah Bible, and the verses that I mentioned have been changed. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to look at the scriptures. When I tried to look at it on Amazon, it didn't let me see it. So I just did a Google search on online versions to see, and I was able to look at it and saw that the verses had indeed been changed. The closest one that hasn't been changed in that particular Bible was Revelation 14:12. But even that, they used, Yiddish sounding words in it. And they, so yeah, but the rest of the verses completely changed. So yeah, as I said to you, there's only one Bible that doesn't change those verses. The restored name King James also doesn't change the verses. But aside from that, it's not there. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me show you what I saw. If I could post it here, let me show you what I got. Let me see if I can. I don't know if it'll let me post it in my live chat or not. Let me see if it'll let me post it here. Yeah, I think it won't let me post because it's too much. Let me see if I can get rid of some of it. All right, so let me see if I can get rid of some of it. This is not easy. Let me see here. It only allows you 200 characters at a time. Hold on, let me see if I can. So seeing if I can get it here. Okay, this is the Yahuwah Bible, Romans 3:22, the righteousness of God through faith in Yeshua the Messiah. So we can see that that's obviously not the same. And then let me also put the restored name version up, and you can see that. Let me just go back a little bit. So let me put the restored name. This is the restored name version. So the restored name version says, even the righteousness of Yahweh, which is by faith of Yeshua the Messiah. See, you can see the difference. They change it. It's subtle, but they do it. Only one book has it. That's what I'm saying to you. Only one book has it. See, they change it. It's subtle. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. And you can tell by those signs, Bathaman. Exactly. You see who did it, and you can see there's going to be something wrong. But just to go ahead and just make sure we see, we're not prejudging the man, we can see it here. He's done it. So in the Yahuwah Bible, he says faith in Messiah. In the restored name, it says faith of Yahushua. So you can see, and so only the King James actually has this properly. No other version has it. So again, that's the most important doctrine in the Bible. So for them to be messing with it, you can understand why. Okay. So if somebody was to point this out to that person that did this Bible, they would probably think it's not important because they're a Gentile and it's not for them to teach this. Yeah. So the second one was actually says restored name, Isha. It says restored name version. I didn't type that in there. That's what it said. So restored name version said that, and the Yahuwah Bible said the top one that up there. So yeah, so it said restored name. Yes, it's so is what it is. But that's why I say to you, the most important doctrine in the Bible is the justification by faith message, which talks about the faith of Messiah. The faith of Messiah is defined as Father's righteousness. Okay, and so that is taken out of every other version of the Bible. You will not find it in the Apocrypha. You will not find it in Book of Thomas or Book of whoever. You're only going to find it in the King James Bible. All right. You're only going to find it in there. And so there's a couple of things that you need to know. Also, aside from that doctrine, I want to look also Revelation 14:12. They that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Messiah. So that a legitimate Bible is going to have the covenant written in it, the covenant that's in Exodus chapter 20 and the covenant that's in Deuteronomy chapter 5. It's going to be written in there as it says in the King James, and it's going to have the justification by faith message in it. Those two things which Revelation outlines. It says the commandments of Yah and the faith of Messiah, which tells you the covenant and the justification by faith to obey that covenant. You gotta have them both for it to be legit. Only one Bible has it. Okay. And like I said, the restored name version, the King James version, it has it, but that is not in print. I have not found it in print yet. You know, right? I've been looking for it. All I can find it is online. Somebody says it's in paperback. I have to look at that. But I only found it online. I have it online. You can find it online in both eSword, and even in eSword, you got to download it separately to add it to eSword, and it's in Bible Discovery. If you look up Bible Discovery, it's there. You can download it there. But as far as it being in print, I have not seen it in print. It could be by now, but I have not seen it in print. That would be the restored name version of the King James Version Bible. It has not changed. I like it, actually. Even though I don't say that name the way they do it, I have no problem with people that do. It is what it is. So, but they have not changed the doctrine. And Yahuwah and Yahushua is much better than Jesus Christ. Much better, because it's closer to his name anyway. So praise the Most High for that. So we have been studying the book of Revelation. We're in chapter 14, and we're talking about the message of three angels, right? And we talked about this in the last section, how when you see a message from an angel in the book of Revelation, what you are really seeing is a message given from the Father to the Messiah turning around and giving that message to an angel as a messenger, which gives it to a human messenger who is the servant, who's going to bear witness or bear record of what he has received from the Father. Okay. So there you go. See, that's restored name. That's the restored name, KJV. That's right. That's the one. That's the only one that you're going to see it. That's the only one you're going to see it. Hallelujah Bible doesn't have it. Yahuwah Bible doesn't have it. And as Bantaman said, when you see who actually did these translations, you can see why it's not going to be correct. You can see why it's not going to be correct. So she already said that before we even looked at it. She said, this is not going to be right. Look who did it, right? But I looked at it anyway, so somebody can say I can't prejudge the man. So I looked at it. And sure enough, it's off. Sure enough, it's off. So that is one of the signs, one of the waymarks. That doctrine has got to be in a legitimate Bible. Otherwise, that Bible is not legitimate. That's the most important doctrine in the Bible. To receive Father's perfect righteousness is to overcome all sin, is to be declared innocent. That's how you're declared innocent, by Father's perfect righteousness. Belief in Jesus does not get you declared innocent. It is the faith of Jesus that gets you declared innocent. Okay? And again, let's just look at that real quick, just for review, because we're going through Revelation 14, and it's going to be in there. So let's take a look at Galatians again, chapter 2, verse 16. Galatians 2:16. Notice what it says. Galatians 2:16. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Jesus Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. Okay? So you can't be declared innocent except by the faith of Messiah, which is the witness of Father's perfect righteousness. That's the only way you can be declared innocent. You can say you believe in Jesus, but unless you have received the faith of Messiah, unless you have received the Father's perfect righteousness, you can't be saved. You can't be delivered. Verse 20 of the same one, Galatians 2:20. I am crucified with Messiah. Nevertheless, I live. Watch this now. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. The life which I now live in the flesh, watch what it says. I live by the faith of the Son of Yah, who loved me and gave himself for me. He didn't say I live by my faith in Jesus. Did you notice that? Galatians 2:20. I live by the faith of the Son of God. That is Father's righteousness. See, if we were to name what we're talking about in terms of the Bible calls the way, because that's what the Bible calls what we believe in. When you trust in the Messiah in the nation of Israel as his chosen people, you are followers of the way, because that's what the Bible says, the way, which Messiah is the way, the truth, and the life. But the faith of Messiah is what caused us to be justified, what's caused us to be declared innocent, what's caused us to give power to overcome sin, and even more importantly, power to reveal to the earth through our very person, Father's righteousness. Okay, Father's righteousness, which is the justification of the whole thing. Why is that so important? Because remember, the enemy is declaring Father a liar. You have to remember that. The enemy, Satan, is declared from the beginning. He has been declaring Father a liar. Therefore, those that are the servants of Messiah are going to declare Father righteous. Why is he righteous? Because his perfection covers our sins and causes us to overcome the enemy. That's why Father's righteous. And that's why the devil is a liar. If two people are calling each other liars, and one of them is true, that means one of them is a liar. So if the devil's calling the Father a liar, either the devil is true or the Father is true when he says the devil's a liar. Because Messiah said the devil's the father of lies. So who's telling the truth? Some people will say neither. Well, that's your business. I'm telling you, Father in heaven, the creator, Yahuwah, Yahushua, and Yahweh are telling the truth. Okay? They're telling the truth. Okay? So that is the faith of that we trust in, which is Messiah's righteousness. Father Yah's righteousness. Okay? Father Yah's perfect righteousness, without blemish. Okay. So in the book of Revelation, when we're looking at chapter 14, and we see these messages that are coming from the angels. Okay, we see these messages coming from the angels. See how you're seeing it very clearly, Bathaman? By just knowing the waymarks, you're seeing these things very clearly. Right? See that? Yeah, so you understand? So that's the Bible. When the Bible talks about coming out of darkness and entering into the marvelous light, that's what it's talking about. Okay, when it's talking about coming out of darkness and entering into the marvelous light, that light, what does light do? It causes you to see things in dark places. So if the room is dark and you have a great light, you can see yourself through the room. But if you're in darkness and you have no light, you're going to stumble, right? But what this truth of perfect righteousness does is it shines light on everything, so that when you see the truth, you can discern what's truth and lies. Matter of fact, 1 John chapter 1. Look at what it says. 1 John chapter 1, beginning at verse 1. And read from verse 1 to 10, because it's only 10 verses. But 1 John chapter 1, 1 to 10, notice what it says. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. For the life was manifested, and we have seen it, and bear witness, and show unto you that eternal life, which was with the Father, was manifested unto us. That which we have seen and heard declare we unto you, that ye also may have fellowship with us, and truly our fellowship is with the Father, and with his Son, Messiah, Yahushua. For these things write we unto you, that your joy may be full. Watch verse 5. This then is the message which we have heard of him, and declare unto you, that Yah is light, and in him is no darkness at all. If we say we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Messiah Yahushua, his Son, cleanses us from all sin. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us. Very plain, isn't it? So when the Most High Spirit of righteousness comes upon a person, that person's receiving light. That light is truth. It's righteousness and truth. It's understanding. It's wisdom. Messiah is a representation in bodily form of that righteousness, of that wisdom, of that truth. He's the Most High's righteousness, the Most High's covenant in the flesh. When he talks about the word was manifested, life was manifested, and we've seen it. That's talking about manifested in Messiah. Okay? That's why they go together. Faith of Messiah and the commandments of his Father, the covenant. It goes together. You cannot have one without the other and be successfully declared righteous before the Father, to be accepted by the Father. You have to have both. Okay? That's why they're declared together. Revelation chapter 14. So we talked about the first two messages. The first one is fear Yah and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth, the sea and the fountains of water. The only true God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. The God that appeared to Moses. The God that says, I've only shown myself to Israel. I've only shown myself to him. Those are my servants. Israelites are my servants. My servants are Israelite prophets. We read that. And it says that. So the Bible is saying, fear that God, not the God of the Pope, not the God of the Mormon Church, not the white Jesus of the SDAs with their Ellen White, not the God of Muhammad in a cave in Saudi Arabia with a brick building called Mecca. Not those. There's only one. He appeared, they call it the Holy Mountain, Oreb, which is where Mount Sinai is, where he appeared to over 1 million of Jacob's children. And they all heard his voice. And the voice was so loud that even Moses said, I exceedingly fear and quake. Because and then they requested. They requested to have the voice stop. There was over 1 million of them. And why do I keep bringing that up? Because that's, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. Here's over 1 million people at the same time that heard the voice of the living Most High. Deuteronomy chapter 5. Deuteronomy chapter 5, which also rehearses the giving of this covenant. Deuteronomy chapter 5, we're going to start at verse 22. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 22, down to verse 27. These words Yahweh spake unto all your assembly. Hey, listen carefully, brethren. What's another word in the Bible for your assembly? These words Yahweh spake to all your assembly. Talk to me now. What's another word in the Bible for assembly? He obviously is talking to the nation of Israel here. So what's another word for that? The word that is exactly, it's the word church. These words Yahweh spake unto your church. The church in this case being who? The nation of Israel. Y'all following me? So whenever the Bible talks about a church, it's not talking about some building with a cross on it. It's talking about a group of people who are called from the nation gathered together. Y'all follow me? Some places in the Bible calls it what? The great congregation, the ecclesia, exactly. But it's not a building with a cross on it. It's not an institution of man-made form called Christianity. It's not that. The church is the assembly here. And this assembly in Deuteronomy chapter 5 is the nation of Israel. It's all of them together. Now watch what happened. Deuteronomy chapter 5, 22 to 27. These words Yahweh spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, and with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. 2 tables of stone. The 2 tables of witness. The tables of witness. Okay? The tables of witness. And it came to pass when ye heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountain did burn with fire, that ye came near unto me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And ye said, behold, Yahweh our Most High has showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that the Most High doth talk with men, and he lives. So he only did this with Israelites. He has never done this with any other people on the planet, showing himself to a group like that. Anytime you hear the voice of the Most High speaking like that, it's always to an Israelite. Okay? Now, therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Yahweh our Most High anymore, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that hath heard the voice of the living Most High speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have, and lived? Go thou near and hear all that Yahweh our Most High shall say. And speak thou unto us all that Yahweh our Most High shall speak unto thee, and we will hear it and do it. So they say, hey, we know he's alive. We know he's real. We know you're not making this up, Moses. We know it's not you, it's him. So you go near, you talk to him, because if we keep hearing him, we're afraid he's going to kill us. Only Israelites have heard that voice, ever. He said he's only showing himself to one people. All right? Revelation doesn't change that. So here, the call is made to come back to that God, that one that showed himself to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and to the nation, that one that made the covenant with all of them and the nation, as it says in Psalm 105. That one that sent Messiah, who is fleshly related from that nation, birthed of that nation, if you will. That God. Fear Yah and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth, the sea and the fountains of waters. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. He's speaking to Israel. And he's telling them, any other God but that one that appeared to those people is a false one. Okay? And the message of the first angel is come to that one. The one he's sending his Israelite people who are awakening to tell you about. Come to that one. And this is different from the beast and its image, which says, join our church. Join our religion. Does it not? Join either my Catholic church, join my mosque, join my Pentecostal church, join my SDA church, join my Mormon church, become a believer in our institution, in our white Jesus, in our Allah. That's what they say. The Most High said, I've only appeared to the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And this is why the bloodline becomes so important. While I often stress, and you all hear me, you could bear witness when I say, people from any nation can be saved and will be. There are people from all over the earth that are going to come to this truth. Okay? Caucasian, yellow, red, black, Hamites, Edomites even. The Bible shows you that even some Edomites going to come to this truth. So there are people that are going to come to this truth. And it says 1/6 of y'all are coming to this truth. That's the word of the Most High. But why the bloodline is so important? Because why? What does he say? Ye are my witnesses. Witness is an important thing to the Father. Remember, the testimony of Yahweh Shah, that's witness. The two witnesses, that's witness. Okay? The tabernacle of witness, that's witness. So it's important for him that he have his bloodline people be what? Witnesses as to who he is. Okay? See again? So there's a differentiation between saying who's going to be saved and who this bloodline people is that's going to bear witness as to who the Father is, and who the bloodline is of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because the promise was to the bloodline. I'm going to save your seed. I'm going to bless your seed. So for there to be no question that that has come to pass, even though you're going to have grafted in through faith, he has to have a seed. He has to have an original olive tree that's representative of Abraham to completely fulfill his promise. So he's got to have, that's why the 144,000 will come from bloodline Israelites. And that message will bear witness of that. This is all for the Father's glory. This is not for the glory of man. It's for the Father's glory. Because he's not a liar. You understand? He's not a liar. Fear Yah and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth, the sea and the fountains of waters. First message from Yah through Messiah from the angel to the 144,000, which they bear witness of. Second one, Babylon is fallen, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. She made all nations drink. She forced all nations to drink. Now, Revelation chapter 13, we read. Revelation chapter 13, let's begin at verse 11. The second beast that looks like a lamb and speaks as a dragon, which we know to be the United States of America. The second beast is a government that speaks like a lamb, claims to represent the lamb, Messiah, but really inside it's a dragon. So it's deceiving the earth by saying we are a lamb, but you're really a dragon. And the same dragon gave power, seat, and authority to the beast that supervises this one. Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Coming up out of the earth. Coming up out of the earth. The earth is also representative of what? What is on the earth? Let me ask you all. Here's a question. There's a lot of elements that are on planet Earth that are not in the third heaven. Okay? Like there's perfect righteousness in the third heaven with the Father. Perfect righteousness is not in the Babylonian system. But there are things that the Babylonian system has that the third heaven will not have. And when the kingdom comes here, the earth will no longer have. One of those things is a grave. Correct? The earth is filled with graves. People have died. Nobody in the third heaven has died. And when the kingdom is established, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, there'll be no more death on the earth. Y'all got that? So the earth is filled with graves and death. This beast rises up out of the earth. It's like the beast that rises up out of the bottomless pit. Revelation chapter 11. Remember that one? Verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. Are you seeing the correlation here? That had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. The one that comes up out of the bottomless pit, some people would like to say, back in the Adventist church, they used to tell us it was France because France attacked the Bible. But France is not attacking the Bible today. And yet, there's going to be an attack on the Bible. Is it from France? No, it's not from France. It's from the United States of America. The one that looks like a Christian lamb, but is really a dragon. an attack on the Bible. We've already mentioned it. How is it attacking the Bible today? Well, how many different versions is proliferating out of the United States? How many different English versions of the Bible are there? And I just explained to y'all, there's only one that has the doctrine that we all really need to know. All the other ones don't. There's an attack on the Bible, and it's coming from the United States of America. You understand? It's coming from the United States of America. There is an attack on the word. And if there's an attack on the word, what do y'all think is going to happen to those who are messengers of the word? Let's follow this through now. If a lot of times we can avoid ourselves a lot of trouble if we just think to the end what the end result would be. They call it thinking from cause to effect. So if there's an attack, if there's a beast that rises up out of the earth that's really a dragon and is really deceiving the earth, because the earth is being made to think it's a lamb, but it really is a dragon. And if it attacks the two witnesses, the 144,000 with the message of the covenant, if it attacks that message, what is it doing to the messengers? It's going to attack them. Is it not? You understand? Exactly. Well, then, we can know what we're going to see from the rest of chapter 13. Just from that. Look at it. Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. And he that is the lamb-like beast, which is the United States of America, exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So if it's pointing the earth to worship the beast that the dragon gave power, seat, and authority to, the one that the dragon uses to deceive the whole earth, the one that the whole earth worships, the one that it says attacked the saints and killed them. It was given to make war with the saints and overcome them. That this second beast is doing all of those works. It's attacking the saints and overcoming them. It's deceiving the earth, and it's getting them to follow the steps of the first beast. The saints being the Israelites. Well, let's stop right here. Has the United States of America attacked the Israelites? Have they? I'll say. Have they strung up Israelites in trees and cut off their testicles? Have they put Israelites to death that didn't do anything wrong? I'll say. So therefore, this is fulfilling its prophecy, isn't it? Exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Let's continue. We knew this was coming, right? Because the beast that rises up out of the earth is the same one that comes out of the bottomless pit, pit being a grave. It's the same one that attacked the two witnesses. We know this is, and if the 144,000 are representing the Father, it would make sense that this beast would attack them. You understand? Verse 13. And doth great wonders, so that it maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth and the sight of men. How does the United States do that? Y'all heard of nuclear weapons, right? Drone strikes, right? Right? The two bombs on Japan. Y'all heard of that, right? Yes. Deceiveth them. Fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Once, I think it was before the first Gulf War, back in the early 90s. The United States wanted to set up a base of operations in Turkey, the country of Turkey, an independent country, a sovereign nation. Turkey's government didn't want to let them do that. And so the ambassador for the United States gave them a choice. We can carpet your country with American planes or American bombs. You choose what you want. Guess what? We had bases set up in Turkey. Revelation 13, verse 13. and doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. There you go. Fulfilling it to a T, is it not? Revelation 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Let me explain something. 3 unclean spirits in Revelation chapter 16, the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. The dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs, the Bible says, come out of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Now, I want you to notice something in Revelation chapter 13. You see the beast here, pretty obvious, right? There's the beast, Revelation 13, verse 1 and 2. There it is. You see the dragon. There it is. The dragon gave him power, seat, and authority. The lamb that speaks like a dragon. So you got 2 of the 3 elements already. So obviously, the false prophet must be here. Who's the false prophet then? The image to the beast. Well, the image to the beast. It says, I saw unclean spirits coming out of his mouth. Does the image talk? We know the dragon talks. We know the beast talks. Does the image talk? Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power, watch, to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, there it is, and cause that as many as would not worship the image, should be killed. Who would not worship the image. This is about religion, y'all. It's about religion and politics, but it's religion with politics. Well, you say, how is the 144,000 involved in politics? Let me explain. Are not the 144,000 representing Father Yah and Messiah? Are they not having the Father's name in their foreheads? Are they not shown on Mount Zion with Messiah? Are they not described as following Messiah whithersoever he goeth? Yes. So what has that got to do with politics? Messiah is going to be the king of this earth. Therefore, he has a government. Politics has to do with power and government. He has his own government. Messiah was put to death because he said that he was coming with his Father to establish a kingdom not of this world. And they said, there is no king but Caesar. What are you talking about? You calling yourself a king? And they put him on the cross with the title, here is Yahweh, King of the Jews. So there is politics with Most High, but he's a monarchy. He's not a capitalist society. He's not a democracy. He's not, no, he's a monarch. He's a king. And he has a kingdom, and he's going to make this earth his kingdom. So now you have 2 sides. The beast that's being ridden by a whore that has this world power, this world government already in place. And the threat is a message, which includes a message that says there's going to come another king. He's going to overthrow this kingdom with a violent revolution and establish a new one. Therefore, the beast and the image and the dragon want to destroy those messengers and their message. Okay? There you have it. And how do they start this process before they start to actually want to put us to death? How do they start it? It's verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. This world system of economics that we are now in is run by corporations. Almost any object you purchase is purchased through, is created by a corporation. I get a lot of stuff delivered that I need from Amazon, a corporation. Suppose Amazon put me on a list and said, you can never use our services. Well, then I had to go out and buy the stuff. Amazon would never deliver to me anymore. It would make life inconvenient, would it? Suppose I had the money and I decided, okay, no problem. I'll go buy the stuff from the store myself. But I showed up to the store and they knew who I was with my ID and they say, you can't buy nothing here. Okay, no problem. I'll go and sell all my stuff and go buy land in the country. I go to sell all my furniture. They look for my ID and they said, no, we can't buy anything from you. You can't sell anything. Not in this system. No matter where in the world I am, I say, okay, I'm going to go to another country. It's a world system. No matter where you go, you can't even go. You're stuck. You're stuck where you are. And all you have is the stuff. And that's no good to you because if I own my house, the bank's going to say, we're going to take this house from you. You're confiscating it. I have money in the bank. No, you don't anymore. Your assets have been frozen. But I get Social Security. Not anymore. That's been stopped. No Social Security. No bank account. No ability to buy. Can't sell. Pretty soon they come taking my place. I don't have anything. What now? I'm trusting the Most High alone. When they see that, they're going to say, he's not going to last. Where is he going? Well, I'm going into the woods. That's all I could do. Everybody, my neighbors think I'm a troublemaker because I'm not with the program. My neighbors think I'm a troublemaker, but not just my neighbors. People that were my friends, people I worked with, my cousins, my mother, my father. You're one of them? I got to get away. So I find the nearest woods I can and I walk through it where I could be by myself away from everybody because they all hate me. And the threat of more violent action is there. I got to go. But I got nothing. So they say to me, you're not going to last out there. You might as well give up, man. Give up. This is stupid. Come on, give it up. Just, sign the papers here. Get with the program and you'll be all right. Don't be like one of these terrorists out here. Joining one of these funny one of these funny cults. Don't do that. Sign up, man. You got more sense than that. Come on now. I know you. We've known each other a long time. And if you say, no, I'm going to follow Yah all the way, they come back at you. They don't say anything. You got to go. So you go. You go as far as you can into some woods, some desert, some mountain, wherever you live. You go as far as you can. And everybody's saying, they're crazy. They're not going to last. They got no shelter. They only have the clothes on their back. They're not going to last. But the Most High provides for us. He provides manna. I wake up in the morning and there's these things on the ground that look like frost. And the Spirit tells me that's your food. And I start to gather it early in the morning. I gather enough to last me the day. And that happens every day. I notice my clothes are not getting old. I'm not smelly and stinky like I would be if I was out there with nothing. He's keeping me. So now people are noticing they're not dying out there. And we're still having all these problems. These things are happening on the earth and it's their fault. We have to find them, hunt them down, and we have to kill them. We have to find them, hunt them down, and kill them. Whosoever would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Don't worry. You won't have to worry about a shot of COVID, anti-COVID drug, or a chip being placed in you. We didn't know about that. You're going to know because you won't be able to buy or sell anything. They're going to take whatever you think you own. They're going to take it. And you're going to only have your Father to trust. And why would you do that? Because you're going to keep covenant with your Father. Because you're one of the saints. You're one of the chosen ones. And Father is using this, like he used the plagues against Pharaoh, to show forth his glory. This is Father's time to shine. See? That's Father's time to shine. Right now, we're giving the message of warning. Be reconciled to the Father. His son Messiah is going to set up a kingdom here. He's going to destroy all these kingdoms. Okay? Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstones in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. They have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. You see, brethren, we are going to be obedient to the Father. And the warning we give is, you stay in this system. Yeah, you can have your little bank account, you can have your little house, but it's about to all be destroyed. And you're doing what you're doing by receiving these things is you're receiving the mark of the beast. The image to the beast is the religious power of the United States. That's the false prophet. You know, like Benny Hinn, Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, Billy Graham, the white Jesus system, the Pope of Rome, the white Jesus system of the United States. That's the false prophet. With Judaism and Islam, the three what they call Abrahamic religions. They try to attribute all three to Abraham. This is the false religion. This is the false prophet. This is the strong delusion. And you'll know, because none of them are going to be persecuted in this. Only those of us that refuse to bow to the system. And we'll be given opportunity. It's not going to happen all in one day. It's going to happen over time. First, you're going to see little pressures, right? Against, anybody that's not in any of these established religions, none of the Christian religions of the United States or the accepted Islamic religions or Judaism. Anybody outside of that society is going to be looked upon with suspicion. Now, you'll get over if you say you're an atheist. You can get over if you say you're an atheist, because when you say you're an atheist, you say you don't believe in any God. They have no problem with you. That's fine. But when you say you're an Israelite, or you say you worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they say, what church? There's no church. It's a scattered nation. That is a problem. You'll be outside of the established and accepted system. That is a problem. If any man worship the beast or his image, and we'll know this and we'll understand it. And the choice will be wilderness with the clothes on your back, or mark and receive all your stuff. The devil's betting on people choosing the mark. You know why? You remember what he said about Job? Yea, he said, skin for skin, all that a man hath, he will give for his life. And that is true with most people. But when you are sealed with the Father's Spirit of perfect righteousness, that is no longer true. All you have, you give for the glory of the Father. When you're sealed with his perfect righteousness, all you have, you give for the glory of the Father. Okay? And that's what's in our foreheads at that time. The glory of the Father alone. We don't care what happens to our stuff. We don't care what happens to us. It's the glory of the Father alone. If any man worship the beast in his image, or receive his mark in his right hand or in his forehead, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. You see how much different and real this is than a stupid chip or a COVID shot? You understand how shallow that sounds? You understand? Because this is what we're dealing with. We're coming down that pike right now. We're being prepared in the Father's Spirit of perfect righteousness so that we can stand at that time. Remember the question. The great day of his wrath is come, And who shall be able to stand? Remember that? Here's where it comes into effect. And notice at the end of this narrative, the end of these three messages that Father sent from Messiah through his angel unto his Israelite servants to bear witness of, at the end of these three messages, there's something that's said here. Watch. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12, which we talked about as one of the most important doctrines, the most important doctrine of the Bible. Notice what it says. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shah. Commandments of Yahweh mean his covenant and his righteousness together. His covenant and his righteousness become one in the true followers. Let me say that again. The covenant of Yah and the righteousness of Yah are one in the spirit of the true follower. There's no separation of obedience to the commandments and grace and peace in Messiah. There's no separation. It's one. Because through grace and peace of Messiah, you receive his Father's perfect righteousness. And by that, you bring obedience to the covenant. And these people who are left, that's the patience of the saints, those that are left, the remnant that keep the commandments of Yah and the testimony of Messiah Yahweh Shah. What's left of the woman, that remnant, those are his people. As we saw, Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9, verse 8. Let's start at verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my most high. That's how it's going to happen. Yah is going to separate the wheat from the tares through this process of allowing this mark of the beast and image of the beast to be set up by Asatan. He's going to let that happen because he wants to separate the wheat from the tares. He's going to be able to look at all of us that are running in caves and running into mountains and running away in jungles, and we're in desert places, and he's going to say, that is my people. And we're running, and we're going to be saying, Yahweh is our God. And that's why when Messiah returns, Isaiah chapter 25 becomes fulfilled. Notice Isaiah 25, when Yahweh Shah returns, Messiah returns. Notice what it says, Isaiah chapter 25. All right, let me see. Wait, make sure I got it here. Yeah. Isaiah 25, beginning at verse. Oh, man. Let's start at verse 8. Isaiah 25, verse 8. The Apostle Paul actually quotes this in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. But Isaiah chapter 25, verse 8, he will swallow up death in victory. And the Most High will wipe away tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth. For Yahweh has spoken it, and he has said, and it shall be said in that day, that is the day of deliverance, the day we are saved, the day of deliverance by the deliverer Messiah, right? Lo, this is our Most High. We have waited for him. He will save us. This is Yahweh. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation when he comes. That's why the wicked say, the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? The 144,000 and then with them say, this is our God. We have waited for him. He will save us. The Most High says, it is my people. And Yahweh's people says, Yahweh is my Most High. See, he does the separating. We don't do the separating. Father does the separating. As we receive his perfect righteousness, he does the separating. Okay, he does the separating. Okay, we will never separate. It's almost like impossible for us to really separate ourselves from Babylon. It's impossible. So he has Babylon kick us out. That's what's going to happen. He has Babylon kick us out. And so I always say this is the irony. In Laodicea, Messiah spits out or vomits out the Laodiceans, and the Laodiceans kick out the 144,000. They're separated. Father kicks them out of his mouth, and they kick us out of their system. And there's a separation. Therein, the sheep and the goats are permanently and forever separated. Okay? Permanently and forever separated. So when Messiah returns, there's those saying, this is our God, we are waiting for him. And there are those saying, hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Two sides. Okay? That's Revelation 14. We haven't finished yet. We still got a very important piece of Revelation 14 to go, which I'm saving to last. This was just the beginning with the 144,000, but we're not done yet. We got some more to talk about in Revelation 14 by the grace of the Most High. And I'm looking forward to sharing it by the grace of the Most High. But for today, that's all we have. I want to stop here with the three angels' messages of Revelation 14, with the 144,000 bearing those messages by the power of Father Yah's righteousness through Messiah. Please have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sabbath day. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. Shalom.